He's representing Her Majesty the Queen, the head of the Commonwealth, who can't be there. He will officially open the games. He is arriving there alongside the Duchess of Cornwall. So Prince Charles, along with the President of India, will be overseeing many of the ceremonies, what we'll see over the next few hours. So the opening ceremony just a few minutes away, about 10 minutes away, but Colin, you touched on it there a little bit about some of the stars who aren't going to be here, and particularly Usain Bolt. It's a big blow that he's chosen, in fact, quite a few of the Jamaicans not to come. Yeah,
I mean, he's a megastar in the sporting world itself, and for him not to be at a competition like this, you know, is very frustrating for the organisers, because they can use a lot of the promotional tools can be driven by this young man himself. So it's a massive disappointment, but you know, in the same breath, he kind of told people early enough to say that I'm not going to actually be there. So they were really warned that what his real agenda was. And it ended up being the right decision for him, because, you know, he struggled a lot with injury this year as well. So he's had a bad back, and this gives him his opportunity, really, just to sit back and, of course, let another Jamaican star perhaps come through.
Yeah, absolutely, as we saw before, but very disappointing. A late withdrawal was Phillips Adowu, who really wasn't happy about the sort of health and safety issues.
No, he wasn't happy, and I always urge that athletes have to make decisions for themselves. Now, we know, you know, Phillips is a great athlete, but he had to make the decision. He said that it was about his family, he was, you know, fearful of the security, and he just said, no, I'm not into that. I would say that athletes like to compete, they ought to compete. I mean, I tried not to miss any competitions where possible, and you know, you can go on to regret these decisions later on in your career, that you trained all these years to compete. That's what you ought to do.
Well, absolutely, but although the Games have been hit by sort of big-name withdrawals and also the negative headlines, for the athletes who do go to Delhi, this is their moment to shine, because regardless of who's there, this is the competition is as fierce as ever, and the intensity of trying to get that gold is as intense as ever as well. So who will be the stars that we'll remember from Delhi 2010? Well, here's a few to look out for.
One of the best women in the world. You don't know what it's been like being someone like you. That is one of the more amazing performances at these Paralympics. What a dive! What a dive! You don't know what it's been like. Rebecca Adlington, you are absolutely brilliant. Someone like you. You don't know what it's been like. Maybe someone like you.
Oh, what a belter.
So as you can see, so much to look forward to over the next 11 days, and a lot to look forward to over the next few hours, because we will be live at the stadium for the opening ceremony, and our commentators are already in place. We can talk to them now. Hugh Edwards is alongside Steve Cram. Hugh, I'll start with you first. I mean, Sonali said not necessarily full just yet, but we're obviously looking forward to that. What can we expect? We're all sort of hoping for a bit of Bollywood. What can you tell us?
Well, let's start with the positives. You can't fault the welcome. You can't fault the energy or the enthusiasm. It's all here. It's not quite full yet. You're quite right. I think people are a little slow coming in. Dreadful problems with security outside. It's a little slow for people to get in, but I think we'll see a full house. It's going to be a bit of a pageant of Indian culture. It's got to be a good show, as you say, to get rid of some of the bad headlines of the last few weeks. I have to say, behind the scenes, it's a bit shambolic, a bit chaotic, but they have put on a very good show tonight. I think people at home will enjoy it.
Well, we're hearing that from Hugh. How tough is it for the athletes, Crammy?
Well, I think, Sue, you mentioned yourself, you've heard that quite a few of them, I think, have been a little surprised when they got here, certainly in terms of the standard of the accommodation. They've been very pleased about that. Those who've had the chance to go to some of the venues to train, I know they think the pool's pretty good. I think it's just the surrounding areas, but I think athletes actually don't even look at that. You know, once they're in the arena, that's all they care about. Conditions are as you'd expect if you're coming to Delhi. It's warm. The humidity's actually been dropping since the monsoons have gone away. So I don't think there are any surprises for the athletes. I think for most of them, they just want to get on with it. And let's not forget, actually, there's a lot of home country athletes not here yet. Most of the track and field English teams certainly are in Doha trying to prepare for Delhi, and a lot will be just coming in a couple of days before they actually compete.
Okay, Steve, Hugh, thank you very much. We'll be back with you very shortly. And Steve, in fact, the Commonwealth Games was a launch pad for his career as well, just as it was for Denise. In fact, winning the Commonwealth gold really is a dream for every athlete. But as far as the host nation is concerned, India, this could be a life-changing experience, because in India, sports stars are megastars. So who will be able to deal with that pressure and extra expectation? These are the ones we'll be looking out for.
Leading India's hunt for medals will be hotshot Abhinav Bindra, the country's first and only individual Olympic gold medalist. Winning the 10-metre air rifle in Beijing turned the Punjabi shooter into a national hero. The whole country is counting on him to hit the bullseye again. The most photographed member of Team India is likely to be tennis star Sania Mirza, whose wedding to Pakistani cricketer Shoaib Malik earlier this year gripped the nation. Less gripping has been her singles ranking, but being 131 in the world won't prevent her being a big draw.
Better execution off the no-pace ball this time.
Favourites in the men's doubles are tennis legends Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupathi. Having won 3 Grand Slam titles together, the duo were once ranked #1 in the world before an acrimonious split. Luckily for the home crowd, when their country calls, the two A-listers always answer, and they're back together for Delhi. Also grappling for gold will be wrestler Sushil Kumar, who took home a bronze from Beijing. He's just become world champion in the 66-kilogram freestyle, a big boost to a sport that was rocked by a doping scandal just a few weeks ago.
3, 2, 1, start.
Pistol King Samaresh Jung's 5 gold medals led India's performance in Melbourne and earned him the nickname Goldfinger. No chance of being that trigger-happy in his own backyard. Jung's only qualified for the standard pistol at these games. After winning the nation's first boxing medal at the Olympics in Beijing, India's poster boy of the sport is Vijendra Singh. He's in good form and looks ready to go one better than his silver at the last games. And another strong contender for a gold medal is the face of Indian badminton, Saina Nehwal.
That's a brilliant performance. Extraordinary day for the 16-year-old. Nobody had ever heard of her this morning.
With the sports powerhouse China not in the Commonwealth, it'll be quite a surprise if the world #3 doesn't take the top spot on the Delhi podium.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping to add to their medal tally, and this is the tally over the last 80 years. You see India in 7th place, and I'd say they're hoping to improve it just ahead of your home nation. Colin doesn't look too impressed with that, but up we go. England is in 2nd place, and Australia top the medal table. And Ian, you didn't even know that.
I didn't know. I assumed. I actually assumed that we may have been in 2nd place, but I'm quite smug that we're winning now.
And you're probably going to be quite smug when the swimming starts as well, because you've just got an awesome team, haven't you?
We do. I mean, it's a very good team for us. It's not, it's not the best team that we've ever had. I'll put that out there. We've got a couple of competitors that won't be in the team. But I must insist that, some of the competing nations against us, we actually have quite a tussle on our hands. The English team is quite strong, as is the Scottish team. So it won't just all go our way at these Commonwealth Games.
We talk about Launchpad, though. Do you think Emily Seaburn will, she's going, 6 events?
Yes, I think this will be a very good Commonwealth Games for her. She's become a little bit of the darling of the Australian swim team at the moment. Given that she's so young, I think she could be very successful at these games. And, you know, there's some of, you know, our older swimmers as well that should pick up some good results.
And just briefly, Colin, also before we go to the opening ceremony, it's important for the home nations, you know, who's there to really shine. Who do you see particularly as far as the athletics are concerned?
Well, you know, we're all in Wales certainly looking at someone like Di Green to go out there and produce the goods so that he can win 2 major championships. So I'm looking forward to seeing that event.
We are looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the opening ceremony. We're going live there now. It's about to get underway. Let's rejoin Steve Cram and Hugh Edwards.
Thank you, Sue. Yes, the great